Have you ever stepped into your yard and felt like something was missing? Maybe the space feels too small for a towering oak or too narrow for a spreading maple. You may have heard that small yards aren't meant for trees, only shrubs. But that couldn't be more wrong. Beauty isn't about size. Some of the most stunning trees in the world are compact, graceful, and made for small spaces. A single ornamental tree can transform an empty corner into a peaceful retreat or a living work of art. These trees offer more than shade. They bring character, structure, and year-round beauty. Today, I'll introduce you to 7 exceptional ornamental trees, perfectly suited for small yards. Each one is elegant, expressive, and capable of completely changing how your garden feels. 1. Japanese maple. Let's start with one of nature's true masterpieces, the Japanese maple. Few trees evoke as much emotion or visual poetry as this one. With its finely cut leaves and flowing form, it looks as though it belongs in a painting or a carefully designed Zen garden. This is a tree that constantly evolves, offering a fresh display of color and texture with every passing season. Japanese maples are celebrated for their incredible diversity and color range. In spring, many varieties emerge in shades of soft lime green, glowing gold, or deep crimson that seem to shimmer in the light. As summer settles in, those colors mature into rich burgundy, emerald green, or bronze tones, giving the tree depth and presence. Then autumn arrives, and the transformation is breathtaking. The foliage erupts into fiery reds, oranges, and purples, turning the tree into a living flame. Watching these changes feels like experiencing several trees in one. Despite their refined and exotic appearance, Japanese maples are surprisingly well suited to small spaces. Most varieties reach between 8 and 15 feet in height, while dwarf cultivars remain under 6 feet, making them ideal for patios, courtyards, or even large containers. Upright forms can grow slightly taller, but rarely exceed 20 feet, and their layered, airy structure keeps them from feeling bulky or overwhelming. Planted near a walkway, water feature, or seating area, they naturally draw the eye and anchor the space with elegance. Even in winter, when the leaves have fallen, Japanese maples continue to shine. Their branching structure creates a sculptural silhouette, and some varieties feature striking bark in coral red or green hues that glow softly against winter light. It's a tree that offers interest every single month of the year. Care is surprisingly simple. Japanese maples prefer partial shade, especially in warmer climates where harsh afternoon sun can damage their delicate leaves. In cooler regions, they tolerate full sun and often develop even more vibrant fall color. They thrive in moist, well-drained, slightly acidic soil. A layer of mulch helps regulate soil temperature and retain moisture, but it's important to keep mulch away from the trunk itself. Because they grow slowly and naturally maintain their shape, pruning is minimal, another reason they're perfect for small gardens. 2. Flowering dogwood. If you want a tree that delivers beauty in every season, the flowering dogwood is hard to beat. This tree embodies grace and balance, shifting effortlessly through the year while always remaining visually captivating. Spring is when the dogwood truly steals the show. Its branches become covered in what look like delicate blossoms floating in midair. Depending on the variety, these blooms appear in creamy white, gentle pink, or deep rose red. While the showy petals are actually modified leaves called bracts surrounding tiny true flowers, the result is nothing short of magical. Seeing a dogwood in full bloom feels like stepping into a living painting. As summer arrives, the tree fills out with rich green foliage arranged in elegant, horizontal layers. This branching pattern allows sunlight to filter through softly, creating dappled shade that feels light and welcoming rather than heavy. The structure gives the tree a sculpted appearance, making it a natural focal point without dominating the space. In autumn, the dogwood puts on another stunning performance. The leaves shift into brilliant shades of red, orange, and purple, rivaling even the most colorful fall displays. When winter finally strips the tree bare, its beauty doesn't disappear. The textured gray-brown bark and fine branching remain visually interesting, and some cultivars develop reddish twigs that subtly glow against snow or winter skies. Flowering dogwoods typically grow between 15 and 25 feet tall, large enough to feel substantial yet perfectly proportioned for smaller yards. They prefer well-drained, slightly acidic soil and do best in partial shade, though they handle full sun well in cooler climates. Beyond their ornamental value, dogwoods support local wildlife. In late summer and fall, they produce clusters of bright red berries that attract birds like cardinals and robins. Their spring blooms also draw in pollinators, turning your garden into a lively, living ecosystem. With a dogwood, you're not just planting a tree, you're creating a year-round centerpiece that brings beauty and life to your space. 3. Eastern Redbud. Our third selection captures the very spirit of spring, the Eastern Redbud. If you've ever noticed a tree glowing with soft pink color before the rest of the landscape has fully awakened, chances are you were looking at a redbud in bloom. What makes this tree unforgettable is its early season performance. Long before leaves emerge, the bare branches are suddenly coated in countless small pea-like flowers in brilliant shades of rosy pink, magenta, lavender, or pure white. Even the trunk and larger limbs join the display, creating a luminous blush effect that seems to radiate warmth across the garden. Few trees announce the arrival of spring as boldly and beautifully as the redbud. Once the flowers fade, the tree transitions effortlessly into its next act. Distinctive heart-shaped leaves unfold in fresh green tones, forming a soft, welcoming canopy by early summer. The shade it casts is light and airy, offering relief from the sun without making the space feel enclosed or heavy. As autumn approaches, those same leaves transform again, shifting into glowing hues of yellow and golden amber that gently brighten the fall landscape. Eastern redbuds are exceptionally well suited to smaller yards. Most mature at around 20 to 30 feet in both height and spread, offering balance without overwhelming nearby structures. Gardeners can choose from a range of cultivars, including upright varieties ideal for narrow spaces and graceful weeping forms that add dramatic movement to the landscape. Redbuds adapt well to full sun or partial shade and tolerate a wide range of soil types, from clay to sandy loam, provided drainage is adequate. Once established, they require little attention and prove surprisingly resilient. This tree offers something to admire in every season. Radiant flowers in spring, lush foliage in summer, warm fall color, and refined branching through winter. Whether positioned near a patio, along a garden path, or as a focal point in a planting bed, the Eastern Redbud brings softness, elegance, and unmistakable charm to even the smallest outdoor spaces. 4. Crepe Myrtle. When it comes to small trees that deliver beauty year-round, the crepe myrtle stands in a class of its own. Often referred to as the lilac of the South, this beloved ornamental is prized for its extended flowering season, sculptural bark, and adaptability to limited spaces. While many trees finish blooming by early summer, the crepe myrtle is just getting started. As temperatures rise, its branches burst into large clusters of ruffled, paper-like flowers that persist for weeks, and sometimes well into late summer. Depending on the cultivar, blooms may appear in pure white, pale lavender, vibrant pink, rich crimson, or deep violet. Because crepe myrtles flower on new growth, gentle pruning in late winter encourages an even more spectacular summer display. Few sights are as striking as a tree covered in cascading blooms during the height of summer. As the seasons change, the tree continues to impress. In fall, its foliage shifts into warm tones of orange, red, and copper. Then, in winter, the bark takes center stage. The smooth trunk naturally exfoliates, revealing layers of cinnamon, tan, gray, and soft beige beneath. A striking patchwork that adds visual interest even when the garden is bare. Another major advantage of the crepe myrtle is its flexibility and size. Dwarf varieties remain as small as 3 to 5 feet, making them perfect for containers or tight corners. Semi-dwarf forms typically reach 10 to 15 feet, while standard tree varieties grow up to 25 or 30 feet, yet maintain a graceful, open structure. No matter the size of your yard, there is a crepe myrtle that fits seamlessly. These trees thrive in full sun and handle heat and drought exceptionally well once established. They adapt to a wide range of soils and resist many common pests and diseases. Good air circulation helps prevent issues like powdery mildew, but overall they are among the easiest ornamental trees to care for. One important note is pruning technique. Excessive cutting, and often called crepe murder, can ruin the tree's natural form. Light, thoughtful pruning allows its elegant shape, colorful bark, and seasonal beauty to shine. In every sense, the crepe myrtle is a 4-season performer. Abundant summer blooms, glowing autumn foliage, striking winter bark, and reliable growth with minimal maintenance. For small gardens seeking color, structure, and long-lasting appeal, this tree is truly exceptional. 5. Magnolia. When people hear the name magnolia, they often imagine massive southern estates with towering trees and enormous white blooms. But magnolias aren't limited to grand landscapes. Many compact varieties deliver the same classic elegance in a size that fits beautifully into small gardens. Two of the best options are Little Gem Magnolia and Saucer Magnolia, each offering its own kind of magic. Little Gem Magnolia, Magnolia grandiflora Little Gem, is a smaller, refined version of the iconic southern magnolia. This evergreen tree typically reaches about 15 to 20 feet tall and grows in a slim, upright form, making it ideal for tight spaces or narrow yards. Its thick, glossy leaves are deep green on top, with a warm, coppery brown underside, creating rich texture and color all year long. Because it keeps its foliage through winter, it adds structure and greenery even when other trees are bare. From late spring through summer, Little Gem produces large, creamy white flowers that can reach up to 8 inches across. These blooms are intensely fragrant, with a soft, citrus-like scent that fills the air and instantly gives your yard a calm, southern-inspired feel. Against the dark evergreen leaves, each flower stands out like a piece of living sculpture. If dramatic spring color is what you're after, the Saucer Magnolia, Magnolia X Soulangeana, is a stunning alternative. This deciduous variety grows slightly larger, usually topping out around 20 to 25 feet, but it remains well proportioned for small spaces. In early spring, before the leaves appear, its bare branches erupt with huge tulip-shaped blossoms in shades of pale pink, deep rose, or creamy white. On cool mornings, the flowers seem to glow, turning the tree into a breathtaking focal point. Both magnolias offer beauty beyond their blooms. Little Gem provides year-round interest with evergreen foliage, while Saucer Magnolia moves gracefully through the seasons. Spectacular flowers in spring, full green leaves in summer, and warm yellow tones in fall. Even in winter, their branching structure gives them an elegant, sculptural presence. Magnolias prefer full sun to partial shade and grow best in well-drained, slightly acidic soil. A layer of mulch helps keep roots cool and moist, especially during hot weather. While they may take a little time to establish, once settled, they're tough, long-lived, and surprisingly easy to care for. Whether you choose the evergreen charm of Little Gem or the springtime drama of a Saucer Magnolia, both trees bring timeless beauty, fragrance, and sophistication to small gardens, and they'll reward you with decades of graceful growth. 6. Japanese Snowbell. If you're drawn to calm, serene garden spaces that feel almost enchanted, the Japanese Snowbell is a perfect choice. This tree doesn't overwhelm with bold color. Instead, it captivates with softness, balance, and quiet elegance. Japanese Snowbell typically grows between 15 and 25 feet tall, forming a gently rounded canopy with horizontally layered branches. Its graceful structure gives it a light, airy appearance, making it especially well-suited to small yards where openness and flow matter. In late spring or early summer, the tree reveals its most enchanting feature: hundreds of delicate, white, bell-shaped flowers hanging beneath the branches. These blossoms resemble tiny lanterns, swaying in the breeze and release a subtle, sweet fragrance. Because the flowers face downward, they're best appreciated from below, making the Snowbell a perfect choice near walkways, patios, or seating areas. After flowering, the tree remains attractive throughout summer with tidy, glossy green leaves. In fall, the foliage shifts into soft shades of yellow and pale orange, adding warmth before winter arrives. Even once the leaves have fallen, the Snowbell's smooth gray bark and elegant silhouette continue to add visual interest to the landscape. Japanese Snowbell grows best in partial shade or full sun, though in hotter regions, protection from intense afternoon sun helps keep the leaves healthy. It prefers moist, well-drained, slightly acidic soil, and mulch is beneficial for maintaining even moisture. Once established, it's low maintenance and resilient, needing little more than occasional watering during dry spells. Pollinators love it too. Bees and butterflies are drawn to the flowers, while birds find shelter among its branches. The Snowbell supports life quietly without demanding attention. In every sense, the Japanese Snowbell is refined and peaceful. It's a tree that adds beauty without noise, charm without excess, perfect for small gardens, courtyards, or tranquil outdoor retreats. 7. Crabapple. Few ornamental trees can rival the crabapple when it comes to year-round interest, adaptability, and sheer visual impact. These compact trees deliver beauty in every season, making them one of the most rewarding choices for smaller landscapes. Spring is when crabapples truly shine. As the weather warms, their branches become completely covered in blossoms, transforming the tree into a cloud of color. Depending on the variety, flowers may appear in crisp white, pale pink, or rich rose red, often carrying a light, sweet fragrance. Many cultivars open with deep pink buds that gradually fade to white, creating a stunning layered effect. Standing beneath a blooming crabapple feels magical, petals drifting through the air like snow. As spring fades into summer, the flowers give way to clusters of small fruits. These crabapples range in color from yellow and orange to bright red or deep purple, hanging from the branches like natural ornaments. While many are too tart to eat fresh, they're excellent for making jelly, sauces, or cider, and birds adore them. The fruit brings movement and life to the garden as wildlife gathers. In fall, crabapples shift once again. Their leaves blaze with color, turning shades of gold, orange, and crimson, often blending beautifully with the still hanging fruit. The result is warm, festive, and eye-catching. Even in winter, crabapples continue to contribute to the landscape. Many varieties hold onto their fruit well into the cold months, creating vivid pops of color against bare branches or snow. This not only adds winter beauty, but also provides a crucial food source for birds. The tree's branching pattern adds texture and structure during the quietest season. Crabapples are ideal for small spaces, typically growing 15 to 25 feet tall with a similar spread. Dwarf, columnar, and weeping forms make it easy to find a variety that fits almost any layout or design style. They're also tough and adaptable. Crabapples grow best in full sun and well-drained soil, but they tolerate a wide range of conditions. Once established, they're relatively drought-tolerant and low maintenance. Choosing modern, disease-resistant varieties helps ensure long-term health and beauty. Beyond aesthetics, crabapples support biodiversity. Their early flowers nourish pollinators, and their fruit sustains birds through fall and winter. Planting one adds life, movement, and ecological value to your garden. In every season, crabapples deliver something special: spectacular blooms in spring, colorful fruit in summer, fiery foliage in fall, and sculptural beauty in winter. Compact, versatile, and endlessly rewarding, they're a perfect finishing touch for any small yard that deserves year-round charm. Have you ever noticed how bell pepper plants want to live longer than we let them? Most gardeners treat peppers like disposable annuals. Plant them, harvest a few fruits, and rip them out when the season ends. But what if I told you that with the right approach, bell peppers can become nearly infinite producers, giving you harvest after harvest without digging, tilling, or exhausting the soil? Today I'm sharing 7 powerful secrets to growing infinite bell peppers, methods inspired by no-dig gardening, soil biology, and how peppers actually grow in nature. These aren't gimmicks. They're small shifts that turn one pepper plant into a long-term food machine. Everything is written straight through, only numbered sections. 1. Start with living soil, not dirt. The secret to growing truly infinite bell peppers doesn't begin with seeds, fertilizer schedules, or even sunlight. It begins beneath your feet, in the living soil ecosystem. In nature, pepper plants never grow in bare, lifeless dirt that's dug up and disturbed every season. Instead, they thrive in rich, layered soil full of decomposing leaves, organic debris, fungi, bacteria, insects, and constant biological activity. This underground world is what sustains long-lived, productive plants. No-dig gardening works because it protects this delicate but powerful system. Every time soil is dug or tilled, fungal networks are torn apart, microbial colonies are disrupted, and nutrients are released all at once instead of slowly. Peppers may grow fast at first in disturbed soil, but they burn out quickly. In contrast, no-dig systems build fertility gradually from the top down, just like a forest floor. By layering compost, leaf mold, aged manure, grass clippings, straw, or worm castings on the surface, you create a permanent food bank. Earthworms and microbes pull nutrients downward at their own pace, converting organic matter into plant-available minerals over weeks and months. This slow-release feeding prevents nutrient spikes and crashes, which are a major reason pepper plants stop producing early. When soil biology is healthy, Pepper roots form beneficial relationships with fungi and bacteria. These microbes extend the effective root system, helping plants access phosphorus, calcium, trace minerals, and water far beyond what roots alone could reach. As a result, pepper plants grow deeper roots, experience less stress, and recover faster after each harvest. This is why peppers grown in living soil don't give up after one flush of fruit. They keep growing, branching, and flowering because the soil never runs out of energy. With intact biology, a pepper plant can live 2, 3, or even 4 times longer than one grown in dead, tilled dirt. Healthy soil creates continuous growth. Lifeless soil creates short-lived plants. If you want endless peppers, the soil must be alive first. 2. Choose varieties that want to live long. Not all bell pepper varieties are designed for longevity. Many modern peppers sold in big box stores are bred for industrial agriculture where plants are expected to grow fast, produce one heavy harvest, and then be removed. These varieties often prioritize uniform size, fast ripening, and short production windows, not long-term survival. If your goal is an infinite harvest, genetics matter more than most gardeners realize. You want pepper varieties that naturally keep growing, branching, and flowering instead of hitting a biological stop point. Thick-walled, indeterminate-style bell peppers are ideal. These plants don't follow a strict schedule. They keep producing as long as they remain healthy and unstressed. Heirloom and open-pollinated varieties often outperform modern hybrids in this area. Because they weren't bred solely for commercial efficiency, many heirlooms retain strong root systems, flexible growth habits, and better stress tolerance. They respond especially well to no-dig systems, where nutrients are released slowly and soil life stays intact. In warm climates, these peppers often behave like short-lived perennials. With consistent feeding and protection from extreme cold, they can produce continuously for many months and sometimes multiple years. In cooler climates, these same varieties can be overwintered indoors or in protected spaces, then replanted or reawakened for another full season of production. Plants bred for endurance respond differently to harvesting, pruning, and soil management. Instead of slowing down, they rebound stronger after fruit is picked. They form new branches, set more flowers, and keep pushing energy upward because their genetics allow it. Infinite harvest begins with infinite potential, and that potential is written into the plant long before the first pepper ever forms. 3. Never pull the plant. Let it regenerate. One of the most common reasons gardeners never get long-term pepper harvests is simple. They give up on the plant too early. When bell peppers slow down or stop producing, many people assume the plant is done and pull it out. In reality, most pepper plants aren't finished at all. They're just exhausted. Peppers are not one-and-done plants by nature. They grow and produce in cycles. After a heavy flush of fruit, the plant diverts enormous energy into ripening peppers. During this phase, new growth slows, flowers may drop, and the plant can look tired or stalled. This is completely normal biology, not failure. Instead of pulling the plant, shift your mindset to regeneration. Harvest ripe peppers promptly to reduce the energy drain. Then give the plant a chance to recover. Light pruning is the key. Remove weak, spindly stems, damaged leaves, and overcrowded branches. Open up the center of the plant so air and light can reach the inner growth points. This signals the plant to redirect energy into new shoots and fresh flowers. In a no-dig system, this regeneration happens much faster because the root system remains completely undisturbed. The roots are already extensive, well-fed, and connected to fungal networks in the soil. When you cut back the top growth, those established roots immediately support rapid regrowth above ground. Many gardeners are shocked to see a pepper plant produce even more heavily in its second or third flush than it did in the first. In warm climates, this cycle can repeat multiple times in a single season. In mild regions, pepper plants can even behave like short-lived perennials, producing for many months or longer if protected. The key lesson is this: don't replace plants, restore them. A living root system is an investment. Once you destroy it, you start from zero again. 4. Feed from the top, not the roots. One of the most powerful principles of no-dig gardening is understanding who you're really feeding. Traditional gardening focuses on feeding the plant directly with liquid fertilizers or granular nutrients mixed into the soil. No-dig gardening flips this idea upside down. You feed the soil life, and the soil life feeds the plant. In natural ecosystems, plants are not fertilized from below. Nutrients fall from above in the form of leaves, dead plants, animal waste, and organic debris. This material sits on the surface, where fungi, bacteria, insects, and worms slowly break it down. That same process is what keeps forests productive for centuries without digging or synthetic inputs. To apply this to bell peppers, add organic matter regularly to the soil surface around the plant. Every 2 to 4 weeks, lay down a thin layer of compost, shredded leaves, grass clippings, straw, or even finely chopped kitchen scraps. Do not dig it in. Do not disturb the soil. Simply place it on top and let nature do the work. As this material decomposes, fungi transport nutrients directly to pepper roots through underground networks. Bacteria convert organic matter into slow-release, plant-available forms. Earthworms pull nutrients deeper into the soil, improving structure and moisture retention. This creates a constant, gentle flow of nutrition instead of sudden spikes followed by depletion. This steady feeding is crucial for long-term pepper production. One of the main reasons peppers stop producing mid-season is nutrient exhaustion. Fast-release fertilizers create a burst of growth, followed by burnout. No-dig top feeding prevents this crash entirely. The plant is never shocked, stressed, or starved. It is continuously supported. Over time, this method builds richer soil every season instead of degrading it. Each layer you add improves water retention, microbial diversity, and root health. The result is peppers that don't just survive. They keep growing, flowering, and fruiting far beyond what most gardeners think is possible. A soil that is always being fed creates a plant that never thinks it's finished. 5. Control stress, not just water. When bell peppers stop producing, age is rarely the real reason. Stress is. Peppers are naturally capable of living and producing far longer than most gardeners allow, but only if their environment stays stable. Stress signals tell the plant that survival matters more than reproduction, and fruiting slows or stops entirely. Temperature stress is one of the biggest hidden problems. Peppers hate extremes. Hot soil bakes roots, cold soil shocks them. This is where mulch becomes absolutely essential in a no-dig system. A thick, continuous mulch layer, straw, shredded leaves, wood chips, or grass clippings, acts like insulation. It keeps soil cooler during heat waves and warmer during cool nights, creating a calm underground climate where roots can function without panic. Watering stress is another major factor. Peppers do not want constant shallow watering. That trains weak surface roots that dry out quickly and collapse under heat. Instead, water deeply and slowly, allowing moisture to penetrate far below the surface. Then let the soil partially dry before watering again. Deep watering encourages deep roots, which gives the plant access to more nutrients and makes it far more resilient during dry spells. Fruit load itself can also become stress. A pepper plant covered in large, mature fruits believes its mission is complete. Seed production has succeeded, so growth slows. Harvesting early and often prevents this shutdown. Picking peppers while they're still green or just beginning to color keeps the plant in production mode instead of retirement mode. The calmer the environment, the longer the plant keeps giving. Reduce stress, and peppers behave less like annuals and more like short-lived perennials. 6. Prune for longevity, not size. Pruning peppers isn't about shaping them into perfect bushes. It's about keeping them young. Many gardeners make one of two mistakes. They either aggressively prune peppers like tomatoes, weakening them, or they never prune at all, allowing old, unproductive growth to drain energy. Longevity lives in the middle ground. As peppers age, older leaves become inefficient. They shade new growth, restrict airflow, and invite disease. Removing yellowing leaves, damaged foliage, and weak interior stems allows light to reach the plant's core and improves air circulation. This reduces fungal problems and pest pressure, two silent killers of long-term productivity. Strategic pruning also redirects energy. When you remove tired, low-performing branches, the plant reallocates resources into fresh shoots and new flowering points. This is especially powerful in no-dig systems, where strong, undisturbed roots can rapidly support regrowth above ground. Avoid heavy pruning all at once. Small, regular cuts are better than dramatic reductions. Think of pruning as renewal rather than control. You're not shrinking the plant, you're refreshing it. A pepper plant that's lightly pruned stays productive far longer than one left to age unmanaged. 7. Protect the roots and the plant will protect you. The final secret to infinite bell peppers is understanding one simple rule. Roots remember everything. Every time soil is dug, compacted, or disturbed, roots lose efficiency. No-dig gardening avoids this entirely. Over time, pepper plants build vast, invisible root networks that store energy, stabilize nutrient uptake, and buffer against stress. This underground infrastructure is what allows peppers to regenerate again and again. Never compact the soil around peppers. Avoid stepping near their base. Let worms, fungi, and microbes do the work for you. Their tunnels improve drainage, oxygen flow, and nutrient delivery far better than any shovel ever could. As seasons change, don't rip plants out unless they are truly dead. Even when top growth slows, roots often remain alive and capable of pushing new shoots when conditions improve. In warm climates, peppers can live for years. In cooler climates, they can be overwintered indoors or heavily mulched and reborn in spring. When roots are protected, peppers stop behaving like disposable crops. They become regenerative systems, producing, resting, recovering, and producing again. Infinite peppers aren't a myth. They're the natural result of living soil, patient care, and letting plants do what they evolved to do.